Welcome to another edition of Podcast Recovery. I'm your host, Eric V. Today, very special episode. It is our 1 year anniversary episode of starting Podcast Recovery.
Golf clap.
Yeah, little golf claps everywhere, right? Right, Luna? This is exciting.
Oh, she's so excited.
So, we're gonna, kind of be a little bit more loose today, but David is going to do his share today. So I guess we'll keep it to format.
Well, yeah,
Hey, what's your clean date over there?
My clean date is 11/26/2012.
Well, hold on there. Hold on. I'm not prepared, by the way.
No, you're not.
11/26.
26, yes.
2012.
2012, yes.
Right around Turkey Day.
Right around Turkey Day, yes. Very good Thanksgiving.
Okay. And where are you from?
I was born and raised in Columbia, Maryland, and have pretty much lived in Maryland my whole life.
The hard streets.
Yeah, the hard streets, the mean streets of Seatown, as I like to call them.
Yeah. When were you first introduced to recovery?
I guess I was first introduced to recovery in ninth grade when I was arrested for the first time, and I had to do like drug classes and shit like that. So yeah, that was right around age 14.
Cool.
14. Yeah. Dabbled in different drug classes and other said IOP programs for the next 11 years.
Nice.
Until I got clean. Yeah, it's a good time.
And is there another question?
Is there another question?
I'm not sure. I don't do this part.
How am I doing today? I'm doing okay.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing all right.
Yeah?
You know, we just did a pod with another recovering addict, so she did a great job.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm doing all right. Not so bad. Watched America beat Chile in the Women's World Cup. So that was very good.
Cool.
Yes. You don't seem like you're a fan of the Women's World Cup.
As hard as I might try to get into soccer, which isn't very hard at all.
Football.
Oh, wow. Really?
Football. Yes.
You're about that?
Yep.
Do you have an FC?
I do.
What is it?
I choose to keep that to myself because it is Women's
Sure.
World Cup time right now.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
No?
Yeah.
You're not like, repping Liverpool or Chelsea, maybe like...
No, I try to stay away from the Premier League because I believe the
MLS?
No,
I mean, the Timber, the Sounders, right?
I've been to quite a few Baltimore Blast games.
I don't think the Blast are in the MLS.
No, they are not. But they are still a football club, to be fair. And, they win some champions, man. Win some championships, the Baltimore Blast.
You sound like a poser.
I'm a total poser.
Yeah.
Total poser.
It's okay.
I know a decent amount. I love the World Cup, though.
Yeah, I think everyone likes it when it comes on.
Yeah.
And then they forget about it, but it doesn't seem to go away as much as it used to. So it's good for soccer.
In the last, the last, few rounds of the World Cup, I've gotten into it, more and more. And, I grew up playing soccer. I mean,
so did I.
Yeah,
of course.
Howard County.
Soccer's great.
Yeah, so I know a good deal about the sport. My high school was, nationally ranked, so we were always fucking good. But, dude, the Premier Leagues and everything, they're going on all year. It's worse than baseball. You have to...
Oh, no. Nothing is
worse.
Baseball.
It's almost as bad as baseball. Because it's just happening all the fucking time. And who has time for that shit, dude?
I mean, but football happens all the time. So does basketball. Those are both, year-round spectacles at this point.
Yes. But actual games of American football...
Well, yeah, but they turn all the other shit.
4 months?
You know what I mean?
4 months a year, maybe 5. So you have 7 months of a whole bunch of people jerking off about free agency and the draft and all of that shit.
I hate the draft, man.
I love the draft.
I fucking hate combine and fucking.
The combine's that's a waste. That's a waste of fucking time.
Cool. I guess we've already wasted 5 minutes talking about
fantastic.
The football clubs.
Splendid. How long have I been clean? I've been clean for now 6.5 6.5 years.
I think we covered that. Yeah.
Well, no, you asked me my clean date.
Oh.
And then when I was introduced to recovery, so how long have I been clean? I've been clean since then, so 6.5, coming up on 7 years. If I stay just one day at a time in recovery, I can do it. I think I can do it.
Cool.
Yeah. All right.
So,
Pitter patter.
as you know,
Pitter patter.
you're chairing this, forum. So,
Yeah.
go ahead, give us your message, and then we'll ask you questions about it.
All right. Special format, but still the same old format, you know? It's still a meeting. It's still a meeting of addicts in recovery who are searching for a message of hope and positivity. Let's see what I can do. Anybody who's been first of all, I just anybody who's listening, thank you. Whoever's listening to this, and especially for getting through that first 5 minutes where we just completely jerked off about absolutely nothing.
Yeah, the fact that you're here.
The fact that I'm here, yeah. It is fucking awesome, like where podcast recovery has come in a year. And that's why we're doing like this sort of special episode, is to acknowledge, like not like jerk ourselves off and be like, oh, look what we've done. But like, it's a milestone. Like
Just like in recovery.
Yeah, exactly. We have a year of broadcasting addicts from all over the place, and it's been a success. We've been successful with this for a year now, and like I think that's a huge accomplishment by us. And like we have a lot of stuff coming up on the horizon. So anybody who's listening right now, maybe you listened to my first episode, maybe not. I don't know. But thank you. Like, keep inviting people, asking us questions, giving us meeting or podcast topics. Because, yeah, we really do appreciate all our fans and subscribers and everything like that. Everybody on Twitter who's been super positive and helpful. So many of them have been on the podcast. So, yeah, just a big thank you just to start it all off. All right, so where was I the last time I shared?
You were episode 4.
I was episode 4, so that was July of 2018. All right, a lot has happened in the last year. About 4 months after that, July of 2018, like I was in the process of planning all my everything for going to California in October, where I then proposed to my now fiance. She stupidly said yes, so now I'm in the process of planning a marriage, which apparently happens when you get 6.5 years clean. You get in stable relationships, people begin trusting you. You have a job for several years. You manage to plan vacations and buy diamonds and shit like that, and get married. So yeah, about 4 months after my last episode, I got engaged, and I have fucking hated the whole process. It has been a fucking bitch. Like, Eric, you know, you've been listening to all of it. It is a bitch of a process. If it is my one piece of advice to anybody in recovery, don't have a fucking wedding. I'm not saying don't get married.
Well, I don't know. Coming from the wedding industry and working in it for years, please get married. We need you.
Don't get married. Fuck weddings. Like this. And I think it's because I'm still in the thick of it. I'm getting married in September, so I still got a little wait. Less than 100. I'm like 90 days away.
It's great, though. The day is great.
I'm sure it'll be cool at the time.
Everything right now will melt away, and you'll just be totally engulfed in that moment.
See, I think I will hold the resentment of the engagement period forever.
I don't think you will.
I hate being engaged. This sucks. I don't have a ring on my finger, so I don't look cool. Like, she looks awesome.
You don't got bling yet.
I don't have bling. No. I have no bling. She does. She's got a goddamn skating rink on her finger, and I got nothing.
Well, yeah. She could have proposed to you, you know?
Which I'm all for. I think women should start doing a lot
Isn't
more
there a
proposing
term
to
for
men.
that? Like an Irish proposal or something?
Is that an Irish proposal? I don't know.
No, I feel like I've heard a term for that or
I don't
something.
know. I think you'll have to Google that.
Yeah.
But yeah, in the 21st century, I think women need to start stepping up and buying a few carrots for their man fiancés. But yeah, fuck. It's been a really cool year. It's been difficult at times for sure. I'm not a winter fucking person. I hate winter. Well, it's a love-hate thing, cuz like part of me likes winter. I love fall, but like winter towards the end of it just gets exhausting. It's just been gray for like 3 months straight, and by that point I'm just in such a shit mood. And on top of all the wedding planning and the stress from that, by the time it got to like early fucking like late winter, early spring, like my mind was shot. And started doing some outside help outside of recovery to have somebody to talk to about like thoughts and feelings I was having. Cause yeah, I got to a fucking dark place, man. Got to a dark place like early January, cause like everything leading up to like the engagement was super cool, cause it's kind of like the lead up to like Christmas, like, you know.
Yes.
You know, like I liked it because like I was like, I know something she doesn't know. I got this sweet ring coming. We're going to California for 11 days, which was fucking badass. And like that was such like, honestly, it was probably the best 11 days that I've had in recovery, period. Just being in California, being in Yosemite, like we flew into San Francisco. In the 11 days, we drove over 3,000 miles. We saw Tahoe. We saw Death Valley. We saw the Sequoias. We were up and down and east and west of the fucking Sierras, all over the place. And it was just a rad ass time. Kristen had never been out there. And it was really cool to share something that like I remember from like my childhood when I went out there with like my mom, because I remember how cool it was then, even though like which was pre 9/11 and it was like pre super security, so back then I was actually able to smuggle weed onto the plane. So when I was in Yosemite last time,
You were like 10.
it was 2001, because it was freshman year of high school when I went. So I was like 14, and we flew back to Maryland, I think 8 days before 9/11. So that was kind of freaky.
Wow.
And I had not been on an airplane since then.
What?
Until 2018.
Wait, you haven't been on... Dude, that was your first time on a plane in 18 years?
17 years, yep.
What?
Yeah. It just never came up. It never, I just never had the opportunity, because like the next 4 years I was in high school and a whole bunch of trauma was happening in my family. So we didn't have to fly anywhere. And then after that was fucking, however, another fucking 8 years of like shit ass addiction, where I was stuck between Maryland, DC, Pennsylvania, getting arrested every fucking 18 fucking months. So I had no need for airplanes. And I sure as shit wasn't going to fucking waste money on an airplane to go somewhere. What the fuck was I going to do that for? Like I went to Ohio a few times. I think I went to North Carolina a couple times, but like I've heard on the podcast, like it's really true how small the world became because of drugs and alcohol. Like this was my scene. Like I knew where my connects were. I knew where to get shit. I knew where I could stay, where I couldn't stay, all the shit I needed to do. So my world got small, And, like, in the back of my mind, I was like, oh, yeah, I want to see other places in the world. But, like, I had no gumption to save up any fucking money or do any planning for trips. So, yeah, for 17 years, I didn't get on a fucking airplane.
That's why I didn't go to festivals. Because I always had no money, like, to make it to the festival. Like, I would need to sell the ticket so I didn't withdraw, too. Like, I'd buy a ticket and then be like, I can't. I'm going to fucking ill if I, like, don't sell this.
Yeah, but, like, with certain festivals, it was just nothing but drug festivals, like EDM festivals.
Yeah, but I don't have the money because I'd already spent the money on the drugs that I need at that moment.
I don't know. Like, I guess that was sort of like that was my, like, leisure spending in my using period. Like, I loved going to fucking metal and hard rock shows. So, yeah, probably, like, every couple months I was going to a heavy metal or a rock show. But, like, back then I was, like, sitting in the lawn, so it was, like, $25, like, whatever. And then we would just go get high and fucking drunk and fucked up and watch Iron Maiden, which was cool.
Yeah.
But, you know, that was my small ass little shitty life for years. So yeah, planning everything up to the engagement was super fucking cool. And then after that, like, I just felt like I had a huge crash. You know? Like, all that excitement was gone. Like, winter was coming. I had just what?
What? Nothing. You just said winter was coming, so.
Oh, God. Oh, you Game of Thrones turd.
I just,
Oh, God, I hate you.
winter is coming.
Winter was arriving. Winter was on the horizon. And I just spent all this fucking money on a fucking engagement ring and a fucking awesome vacation. So I didn't have, like, the normal, like, extravagant Christmas that I normally have, which was kind of a bummer. But, like, I understood it. Plus, we were, like, saving money for now the impending wedding. And, like, with all, like, it got to the point where, like, for, like, 3 or 4 months, it was just, like, I was just making money to spend it on the wedding instantly.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, cool. I just got paid today. Wait, no, I didn't. I need to go spend it on some shit. And so that's what the fuck happened. And, like, it sucked. It sucked ass. And so, yeah, early spring started going back to the therapist.
The what?
The therapist.
Oh, I was like, the thoroughbred? Like, what the fuck are you saying?
The therapist.
Yeah.
So you, like, talk about some shit. Because, like, I just got into a dark place where I was like, everything fucking sucks. Since then, like, oh my God, my job has fucking sucked for the last 6 fucking months. Like, I'm in the restaurant industry and I'm just fucking over it. And I fucking hate it. I hate it.
Aren't you getting out?
Yes. In the very near future, I am getting out. So there is a light at the end of the tunnel, but I'm still stuck in the fucking tunnel right now, and it just sucks. And now we're in, like, the super busy part of the season, and so now it's just rude people and
Wait, there's a
shitty
busy
work.
part to your restaurant?
Oh yeah, fuck yeah, dude. Fuck yes, dude.
I just thought it would be, like, pretty steady.
January and February. January is decent. What's crazy is December is busy. December is busy as shit because of all, like, kids are getting off school. People love catering, Christmas parties and shit. So we cater a lot of Christmas parties around Christmas.
Oh, is this, like, catering for, like, barbecues and shit like that? Like,
Oh yeah,
like cookouts and everything?
yep. And it picked up really early this year. Like, they're doing probably the best business that they've done in the 4.5, almost 5 years that I've been there. And, like, this year has probably been the busiest year. And it starts in April, and then once Memorial Day happens, then it just kicks the fuck off. After Memorial Day, you're cooking a fuck ton of food all the time. And especially now, we're right in the middle of Howard County, so we do so many graduation parties. Like, the past month has been nothing but graduation parties and all sorts of shit. And it's been
Terrible moms, probably.
Oh God, they're terrible. They're terrible. Just this past weekend, like, they wanted, like, there's two different things. There's like beef barbecue and pit beef. Two totally different things.
Mm-hmm.
One's already mixed with barbecue and onions, ready to go. Slap it on a sandwich. It's like a sloppy Joe. I don't particularly like it. Anyway, the pit beef, totally different. Just on Saturday, we make fucking 10 pounds extra of fucking beef barbecue for this catering order. We deliver it to her. She was like, this isn't what the fuck I want. And we were like, excuse me? She was like, I wanted pit beef. And we were like, no, you specifically asked for this. And she's like, no, I don't want this. You need to take it back and slice me 10 pounds of fucking pit beef right now. And we were like, that's a pain in the fucking dick. So that was just a whole fucking issue, and it just sucks. The restaurant industry sucks. And again, like, all you workers out there, I appreciate you. I'm with you, but it fucking sucks, and I'm tired of it. And I'm ready for a real fucking 9-to-5 job. The hours suck. The people suck. The pay sucks.
I've never worked in the restaurant industry.
Well, consider yourself lucky.
I
think it should be
retail.
fucking mandatory.
I worked in retail. I think either retail or restaurant. I don't think you have to do both.
I think one or the other. I think everybody in America, like, you know how foreign countries, like, you have to do, like, spend a year in the military or something like that?
That's in, like, Israel.
No, that's a lot of countries.
Is it?
Yeah. You have to do that in, like, Sweden and, like, all sorts of different countries. Oh, shit.
David.
I'm sorry I bumped the fucking mic. But yeah, I think every fucking snot-nosed brat or anybody in this country needs to work at a fucking Hot Topic or a Yankee Candle or
a Yankee Candle. That's kind of a arbitrary, weird.
I was just thinking about, I don't know.
You did work at Hot Topic.
I did work at Hot Topic. I did not work at Yankee Candle. But, like, I think you should just work some sort of shit job for shit pay.
Well, that's what you do when you start working.
For a year, at least. I think it should be mandatory to, like, make people appreciate the crap job that somebody is doing and just be nice to them. You know, that's one thing, like, I've kind of, like, gotten a lot better with, like, in recovery, is just treating the people around me better.
I would concur.
Like,
we were both kind of dickish.
Oh God, we were
ago.
shitbags. Like, when I first came into recovery, like, I was super fucking emo as shit. Like, yeah, I would just have mood swings, and I was angry, and then I was happy, and then I was sad, and I had my hood up, and I was listening to my Slipknot, and I don't want anybody to talk to me. I showed up at the meeting just so everybody could see me being dark and brooding and deep, and fuck that. Like, I was a turd. I was a little
so stupid,
dude. But 100% that happened in early recovery. I would show up to meetings even though I was feeling something about something, and I would come in a hoodie and I'd have my earbuds in.
So is that
I'd be listening to heavy metal and I wouldn't say a fucking word to everybody.
Now, I remember your, like, brooding phases.
Yeah.
Is that so? Would you classify that as attention seeking?
100%.
Yeah.
100%. Like, absolutely. I was an attention seeking little turd. And I actually recently, some more light got shed on some shit. Not through step work, but just sort of just reflecting a couple weeks ago. I was thinking about attention seeking because I was thinking about that behavior in early recovery, and I was like, damn, like, and listening to, like, other people's podcasts, and I was like, damn, I was 100% an attention seeker my entire life. Like, I would always, like, wanted to make people laugh and want everybody to feel good around me because, like, my home life sucked. So I always tried to, like, put on, like, some sort of funny performance to make the whole living room laugh, make my sisters and my mom laugh, like, have that attention. And then, like, it got addictive because it felt good. Like, it was finally something at home that felt good. And sort of shifted in middle school because, like, I'm a pretty smart guy. And in elementary school,
humble brag.
Huh?
What?
Go ahead. I didn't say I'm a fucking member of Mensa or anything. I just said I have my wits about me above average, I'll say. So in elementary school, like, shit was pretty easy for me. And then, like, middle school came, and, like, the one subject that really fucked me, and, like, I remember this, was, like, 6th grade math. Like, it was the first time that I tried in school and did not do well.
Is that algebra?
Yes. I hate algebra. All through high school, I only got to algebra 2.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I am not good at. I failed algebra freshman year. Had to retake it sophomore year. Took geometry junior year, and then got to algebra 2 senior year.
Is it the letters that throw you off?
Yeah, I'm not like letters and like fuck you. I can't like what? Why do you have to do that? Like fuck you, algebra.
Well, I mean, the letter represents a number.
I know, but like it's so fucking. How are you supposed to remember all those different equations? Like
It's like remembering formulas, you know?
For whatever reason, I couldn't do it. I could not do it. Now, geometry, perfect. Straight A's. Straight A's in geometry. No problem. Angles, like just straight numbers, obtuse, acute, like different shapes. Really makes sense to me. So I'm that sort of like tactile fucking learner. But no. Arbitrary, hypothetical math sucks. Fuck it. And like...
Interesting.
But what's weird is like since then I've like read books on like physics and I was good in chemistry.
Yeah.
I was good in chemistry, but not algebra. I don't know. I don't understand how you could be. Anyway, fuck it. So this is the first time in my life I was fucking trying at something and I wasn't good. So I just got to the point where for some reason I was just like, fuck this. I'm gonna be addicted to the bad attention. Because
yeah, I feel like everyone has that moment.
Yeah,
I remember mine.
Yeah, and because I just started becoming the shithead in class because I didn't care anymore.
Yeah,
like the switch got flipped, and like also around that same time, that's when 2 of my sisters left the house. Like my one sister went to college, and my other sister she dropped out of high school and moved out of the house. So like half my audience is gone. I don't have that same like amount of attention. And my one sister was younger than me, so like I didn't want to fucking her attention. My other sister, who was immediately above me, I didn't even fucking like her, so I didn't care about her attention. And there was just more complications in the house. So yeah, things just progressively got worse. And so, yeah, I've definitely seen like that pattern of attention-seeking behavior, especially in recovery, that early like public moodiness.
Okay, let me ask you. Do you notice when you do it now?
I don't think I do it as much.
But do you notice when you do?
Do I notice when I do? Not all the time.
Okay.
Not all the time. Sometimes, yeah. Totally honest, not all the time. Because I'm a guy, like, one thing that's changed in my recovery especially is, like, my wardrobe. Do not dress the same at all.
Well, I mean...
Right now, yes, I'm wearing a t-shirt and ripped up jeans and Chucks. Okay. But around, like, year 4... I started getting into button-downs and ties and blazers and all sorts of, like, more fashionista type things.
Wearing a 3-piece suit to the meeting?
Wearing 3-piece suits to the meeting. And I've realized that, number one, like, I think people probably have gotten, like, a bad perception of... Some people have actually called me on that. They're like, oh, man, you're really dressing up the outsides, blah, blah, blah. Must be covering some shit up. And I'm like...
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm like,
maybe you just want to look nice.
Yeah, exactly. And that's pretty much what it is. And a lot of it spawned from the job I'm in because I'm covered in grease and blood and sweat all fucking day. That I just had this feeling like I don't want to feel dingy when I'm in public. I feel dingy for fucking 8 or 14 hours at fucking work. I want to come home and like look slick, feel nice, feel clean and sharp. And but there have been times when I've been in a shitty spot, and because like I can still wear jeans and a t-shirt and be perfectly fine and go to a meeting. That's not a fucking problem. But there's been times when I'll dress. I will do that. I will fucking put on the suit to mask like how I'm feeling, just so people will think like, oh, he's fine. He's still wearing the suits and he's still looking good. And so there have been times that I've done that, but like that's very few and far between. It's usually just like, I feel like looking nice. That's it. Like, that's it. I feel like rocking my new wares, and that's it. And I've thought about like, as like we've done more and more podcasts, probably one of the biggest things is like recurring themes that really doesn't get talked about that much in the rooms is codependency.
Oh, it's a staple.
It's a staple.
Addiction.
It really is. And like, I look back through my addiction, and like, this is how the podcast has helped me, especially in the last year, is look back through my addiction and it's like, oh shit, I definitely had codependency issues as well.
Yeah. I mean, by the classifications of what a codependent person is, like, I mean, pretty much most people are codependent.
Yes. To some degree, yes.
It takes a lot of work to not be codependent. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if like being completely codependent is like necessarily a good thing. I think like a little bit of like dependency on people, maybe not a person, but a dependency on like social interaction is good. But maybe that's not codependency. Codependency is more on like a single like person. But
yeah, mine was just always. It was never a fixation on necessarily one person, but just sort of like the general idea of another person. You know what I mean? Like it was sort of just like, who was my next victim? Like, who?
That took a turn, but
it really took a turn.
Who was my next victim?
I don't know. Maybe they had good skin, and I could
put the lotion on it.
Make them put the lotion on the skin. Who knows? Don't judge what I'm into.
Who's my next victim?
Would you fuck me? Sorry, I had to do it.
Yeah.
But psychologically, like, who was the next person that I could just sort of fucking use, abuse, and get the fuck rid of? Like, whether that was for drugs, whether that was a woman for like companionship and sex, like, oh, you're into drugs and sex? Me too. Let's do this shit for a while. And then once you annoy me, get the fuck out of my life. So that like, and it was the same for drug dealers. Like, I would work my way up the line. Like, oh, okay, I get from you, but you actually get from this guy. So I don't need to fucking talk to you anymore. I'm going to talk to the guy you get it from.
That's just, I mean, that's a natural progression in using.
Yeah. But, like, that's how it was. And then, like, you're always searching for that next fucking person. So, and I don't know how much that's, like, codependency, but it was just always sort of, I don't know, finding a way to use people.
Yeah.
And so I don't really know how, like, there was always having a woman in the picture was never a fucking problem. Mm-hmm. It has like never been an issue. Like, we have other friends who can't reel a fish in to save their lives.
Yeah.
And like, that was just never a problem for me. Like, I could always find a woman to be a part of my misery. And like, I did that in early recovery as well. Like, I was in a tempestuous relationship. Mm-hmm. God, that was a diplomatic way of saying that.
It was interesting.
That was a very great way of saying that. You're welcome.
I mean, I feel like a lot of people's first relationships in recovery are kind of shit shows, though.
Yeah, but some aren't. I mean,
are they?
I don't know.
Are they?
Well, they last. Like,
that doesn't mean it's not like, you know, there's parts where there's shit.
Yeah, I guess.
I don't know. I mean, there's always an exception to the rule, right?
Yes.
But
there's always outliers.
Of everyone that I know, what? First relationship doesn't last.
Dude, you know like 8 people.
I know more than that, but in recovery, you're right. I don't really get out much for recovery.
What happened?
Or fellowship recovery. I don't get out much.
But yeah, like I got to a dark place. I keep circling back to it. Where yeah, I just felt like I was spinning wheels. Like I wasn't making headway financially because I just kept spending it, and like that's what I've had to do.
Did you make a 5-year plan, David?
I have an outline.
Good.
I have
Good.
an outline.
See?
Yeah, we talked about that.
Yeah.
I can't remember. Probably like last year.
That was Yulia's episode.
It was Yulia's episode. That's right. Fuck. Shout out to Yulia. Yeah. Do I have a 5-year like plan? No. But I do have bullet points for my life.
Okay, that's good.
So it's not like a plan. Like there's more flexibility.
It's a roadmap to change your life.
Yes, absolutely. I have actually set parameters. Like before that, I was very much a feather in the wind. Very much like, I'm just going to live.
Just for today,
I'm
man.
Just YOLO, bro. I'm going to dab it out right now and keep it moving and just do this recovery thing. And now there's actually more milestone type things like, engagement, like
Okay.
marriage, children, house.
So let me ask you something really quick about that, because you're entering that phase.
I know.
And okay, so you're at your phase now, right? Where you've dated, Kristen for a long time.
Yeah.
And but I mean, you still have your freedom, you still have financial freedom, you had all that, right?
Yes.
Now you're getting married, so all of that is starting to get funneled into other things.
Yes.
But you recognize that that's not going to end.
Yes.
And coming to that realization that your money isn't your money anymore, it's our money. Mm-hmm. That sucks, I guess.
It does. And it's been hard to cope with at times, but then other times it's not a problem. I've seen a level of maturity start to arrive. On a day off, I would usually just spend the day playing fucking Madden or whatever, just doing nothing, jerking off for fucking 8 hours. It didn't matter. And now on my days off, I'm like, I really need to go get some laundry detergent. But first I need to stop and get quarters from the bank so I can do that laundry.
Grocery store.
Go to the grocery store. I got a pile of dishes. The floor in the bathroom is not looking so great. I need to give that a quick Swiffer. So it's these dad sort of things have come into my life in the last few years of recovery. And also, I love having a house that looks like a home. Yeah. I actually went shopping for area rugs, and I was like, I really like.
It really ties the room together.
It ties the whole room together. Area rugs change the whole fucking nature of everything. Mm-hmm. But it can get unmanageable because I like antiquing. So on a Sunday afternoon, when it's nice, I can get lost at a fucking antique shop and be like, yeah, that's totally worth $85 to hang on my wall for nothing.
Well, here, I mean, this is kind of promoting that problem, but if you go to yard sales, you can slice that price in more than half and find
fantastic.
Good stuff. I mean, you might have to restore it.
Yeah,
but
you can haggle.
You can haggle. You can do a lot more.
Yeah, I just feel like antique stores tend you have a smaller percentage of missing. You know what I mean?
Oh, well, I mean, you can still miss. I mean, the antique store might just be shit.
Oh, yeah.
The inventory changes constantly, so
exactly.
You don't know
sometimes
in there.
Yeah. And some of them go seasonally. They'll it's Easter, so we have shit tons of bunny crap. And I'm I don't even fuck bunnies, dude. I don't need this crap. But so becoming a different person has been weird. I've noticed how I've become more of an adult accidentally. It's just sort of happened.
Yeah, dude, I feel you.
Yeah. And in the last year, those concrete things have started to happen, what I need to do, when I need to do it. And all that is from recovery. In addiction, you just do what you need to do right now. Mm-hmm. Like, this is what I need it now. What do I have to do like, is there short-term planning? Absolutely. Like, I need to go fucking rob this guy so I can get some fucking money and go get fucking drugs. Which, I don't think I told this in my previous story. My roommate Brandon and I, when we lived above the bar at Edmondson and Rolling, had a
Edmondson and Ingleside.
Edmondson and Ingleside, excuse me.
Yeah.
Edmondson and Rolling is a different.
It's where
that's where recovery is.
Yeah.
That's where recovery is. Edmondson and Ingleside, we had a gun we had a broken gun, so it had no ability to fire at all. Like it was broken, and we traded it for fucking drugs because this guy was like, "Hey, I got this broken gun. Do you want it?" We're like, "Yes." So we would rob people with a broken gun around Catonsville. And I kind of felt like okay about it because
it was broken.
Because it was broken. But that and I'd like see like I'd always thought of that scene in Fight Club when like Brad Pitt like makes that guy go change his life with the empty gun. You know what I mean? He's like, do you want to die behind a 7-Eleven right now, or do you want to, like, fucking go do your shit? But I never did that. I never, like, talked to the person or did anything. Like, I would stick a fucking broken gun in people's faces and get money from them. Not even because we needed it, just because we would get fucked up and we thought it was funny.
Yeah.
Like, these idiots are going to give up their money for fucking a fake gun. Like, we never hurt anybody, but we terrified people.
Yeah. They probably remember that now.
Yeah.
You know? How are you going to make that amends?
How am I going to make that amends? By not sticking a gun in people's faces. There's no way I can make that amends. Because
I don't know who those people are.
I have no idea who those people were. And that's... I made a very big amends this past winter. So after I got back from California, I saved up some money because probably one of the biggest like financial amends I needed to make was to my sister Julia. I owed her money from back in the day, and she didn't talk to me for my first 4 years of recovery at all because like things had gotten that bad and I owed her a shit ton of money. So like right before Christmas, I didn't warn her at all about this, but like I showed up at her house and I gave her and her husband, I gave them $500. I was like, I really owed you this. And we developed a relationship for the past 2 years prior, and they were like so shocked, and they like didn't want it and everything. Like I still insisted that they take it, because it was the right thing to do. Which felt awesome. Like that was my first real, like I did one with Emily, did an 8th and 9th. We did an 8th and 9th step with each other from our tempestuous relationship our first couple years.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
You didn't know? Yeah, I thought I told you that.
No.
Yeah, we both did an 8 and 9 with each other.
That's
in the past year.
Weird, but I guess makes sense for recovery. Yeah.
Cuz like we both had to like look at like what we did wrong in that, cuz I think about this time last year I had just finished my 9.
Weren't you guys still not, like... You guys were on okay terms last year, right?
Yeah.
This time? Yeah, she was our first person, so...
Yeah, she was our first episode.
Yeah, it's just weird doing I guess it's been so long. Mm-hmm. It's been, 4 years?
Yeah.
Since you got that relationship, so I guess it's, different.
Yeah.
And you know the same people, so it's not like... That person just goes away, and then it'd be fucking weird. It's like, oh, I haven't talked to you in 4 years. Let's do a fucking amends.
Yeah,
and it's like, no, I know you. We talk all the time.
Yeah, it had built up over the last 4 years, and it got to the point where we had to do that. So that was my first emotional one, and this one was the first financial one that I did, and it felt really cool. To be able to do that. And also, I've started making, I guess, a financial amends to myself and cleaning up some of my debt from my past. and I'm working on that. That's part of my 5-year plan. In 5 years, the way I'm going with how I'm paying off my debt, I'll be out of debt.
Good.
In 5 years.
Good.
And if it increases and I can add
5 years.
a little bit less than 5 years, it'll be actually 4. So by the time I'm 36, I will be debt free, which isn't bad.
Are we talking credit card? Or are we talking
Student loan,
okay.
Medical bills, no credit card debt. Do not have credit card debt. Thank God. That was the one smart thing I fucking did in recovery. I was like, I know if I fucking get in a credit card, if I get into credit cards, I'm gonna fuck myself over.
Do you have a credit card?
No, I don't. I do not have a credit card. I know that's also on
Sorry, I'm judging right now.
I know. I'm working on that as well. That's also on my that's in my life track plan.
Yeah. It's kind of a fundamental part of
I know. It sucks.
2019.
Yeah, it sucks.
In order to buy a house or buy a car,
Yeah, and I know that shit. I'm still stuck in the old ways of buying shit outright. I buy cars outright because I don't believe in fucking car payments. Car payments are fucking stupid.
Yeah.
I hate them. If you can buy a workable fucking car for a few grand and just ride that out till your next one and save up money for the next one, maybe a little bit more money and get a little bit better of a used car and then buy that. I just think it's a smarter way to do things.
Yeah, that's fine.
My personal choice.
Yeah. I would like to put more money down on my car next time. So, yeah, I understand.
Yeah. So I'm working towards credit and being debt free and all that shit. Built a lot of new friendships. I've gotten on Twitter, which has been super cool.
And Twitter's the best.
A few months ago, I pulled back because the podcast has really helped me look at because one of our mainstay fucking questions for a while was how is our addiction manifesting in our lives in recovery? And fucking Facebook was one of them, dude. 100%. And it was not that I was posting shit. It's just it was just constant.
Yeah.
It was just constant, needing to see or know or find out how many likes I was getting on dumb shit. And it got, really bad, over this past winter. And I just felt gross. I felt gross about it because I, just thought about how much time during the day I was wasting on Facebook. And I was like, ugh. And it was just gross. Everybody's talking about Donald Trump or whatever, just complaining about this or that or whatever social crisis is happening every week, which cop is shooting who in what state, what's happening all around the world. And it just got and it was infecting my day-to-day attitude because I'll be like, oh, guess what so-and-so said on Facebook? This, and I feel this way because who gives a shit? And I didn't delete my Facebook, but what I did is I hid it in a folder on my phone.
Yeah.
So in order to get to it, I actually have to work to get to it. But in the last, I'd say 3 or 4 months, I can count on 2 hands how many times I've clicked into that folder.
Yeah, I have to go on it for the page. And the Facebook group.
Mm-hmm.
And then I use it for Marketplace.
Yeah.
And I also look at the Dodo. The Dodo is my favorite.
I don't even know what that is.
It's inspirational animal rescue stories.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah, it's great.
That's fantastic.
It's the best.
I've gotten a lot more into my own personal health. Been working out a lot more, gotten a lot more into my mental health, reading more into my spiritual
ideology,
education.
Okay.
Not necessarily ideology, because I buy so many things from so many places. And you know what? Let's fucking talk about that. Let's talk about
paganism.
Let's just spirituality in general. Okay. But yeah.
Well, I wouldn't. I guess you call it pagan.
It's actually like there's.
Okay. Can I ask you something?
Yes.
Really quick.
Yep.
Something that always bothered me as a kid.
Yep.
And right before we go into yours, I'll just kind of like do a little bit. So like, I grew up as an atheiist. And that's how I grew up.
Yeah.
I'm not an atheist. I would consider myself, depending on the day, an agnostic or a deist.
What depending exactly on is the day. Deist?
I believe
just that there is something.
That there's something, but I can't comprehend what that is.
Yep.
So putting any sort of title on it is arbitrary. I also don't. My personal belief is if there is something, it doesn't directly affect my life whatsoever, because I'm just not that meaningful.
Yes.
So I think, or agnostic, because I really just don't fucking know. But like when I was younger, one of the things I always remembered, like when I was in elementary school, because everyone went to church and they're like, why don't you go to church? And I would always read like Greek mythology, and I always think like why is this called a myth? And that's called religion. I remember bringing that up to people. They were just like, well, it's it's not real. And I'm like, but these were gods to these people.
Exactly.
But and like now you're saying it's just fiction, but your God is a God,
that is based in fact all of a sudden.
Yeah, it's just like how you're just dismissing like this whole religion as like fiction when everyone believed in it. Like
absolutely.
I'm sure that's going to happen again with other religions.
It is.
You know what I mean?
It is
where it's
happening.
Just like this is fiction. It probably happens all the time. There's tons of religions, so. But I always thought that was kind of fucked up. But go ahead.
Yeah.
Discuss your plural.
So like I pull from so many different things. Like I grew up Presbyterian. I never really got heavy into it. Like my parents made me like go to church until I was like 9, and then I started saying no.
Yeah.
Because I just didn't want to go. I never cared. Like, as a kid, I just didn't give a fuck. Like, hell didn't scare me. I guess they didn't instill the fear of God in me. And I just didn't give a shit. So,
Should you have the fear of God? I mean, I thought God's supposed to be all loving and not,
That's a sticky question, my friend.
See, I didn't grow up with it, so I know more about the history of religion than I know about, yes, I know what you mean.
You know
yeah, of course I know what you mean.
I never had any sort of... I was not a God-fearing Christian, ever.
Smite thee.
Like, the Ten Commandments is fine. Like, there's nothing wrong with them. Like, I don't have any... Like, I have no animosity over any religion. I have animosity with people who practice different religions in negative ways.
Yeah.
And in early recovery, like, I didn't know what I was doing. Like, I was saying God, and then like my sponsor is very much into Buddhism, so I read like the Eightfold Path of Buddhism, and I was like, oh yeah, that makes so much more sense, and this and that, but like it didn't really fit for me. So in like the last couple years, I've gotten into Norse paganism or heathenism or however you want to call it. So I've read a lot more into that, and it seems right to me. And what you were saying about like, oh, this is mythology and this is religious fact, like I've gotten that from people.
Yeah, I know. I've seen
in recovery.
I've seen the reactions when you pluralize God, and people get like, what are you doing? They like laugh, and it's just like, dude, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Like, what the,
like some people in recovery have really come at me sideways for what I believe in. Because it's gotten to the point that in the fellowship, like when we sit there and say the Serenity Prayer, I don't say God anymore. I don't.
Yeah, I haven't said God pretty much the whole time.
I don't, because I like what I did in my early step work was like when we talked about like a higher power. and especially in like the third step, where basically the way I learned to turn my will over to a higher power would like my sponsor had me like write out a list of attributes or characteristics of how a benevolent, all-caring, all-loving higher power would act. Like they're understanding, they're compassionate, they're loving, they're kind. And then he was like, okay, do those things. That's turning your will over. Be understanding, be compassionate,
I like
be
that.
kind, be generous. That's turning your will over. It basically embodying ideals. And like that's
Being the characteristics that you would like to see from a benevolent, like
whatever
you know, whatever.
Exactly. And so that's what like my spirituality was for like several years, was just doing those kind things. And what's really cool about like Norse paganism is their basically the center of their like beliefs is the 9 noble virtues. And which are really cool because it's pretty much exactly what I did in my third step. It's like honor, fidelity, fuck, I can't even remember them right now. Self-reliance, they're in courage, industriousness, hospitality. So I think that's 5 or 6. And it's just it's not telling. It's more positive language. In my opinion, the negative, like the 10 Commandments, has always just been don't do this or you're gonna go to hell. Thou shalt not. Like why does it have to be a negative connotation sort of thing? So my spirituality is like, hey, courage, like be courageous when you need to, like honor, like honor the people around you and like love everybody as they deserve to be loved. And like truth, like always speak the truth even when it's a detriment to you. Like self-reliance is like be self-reliant, period. Just like do these things that are ultimately going to benefit you and the people around you. Because like another like central part is like there's no plan. There's no like Odin does not have a plan for you. It's not like fate or anything like that. You still have choice. And I believe all these different gods are those. It's exactly like fucking Greek mythology. Like you had fucking Aphrodite was the goddess of love.
I mean, they're pretty like related as far as that. Like,
yeah,
you know.
well, a lot of the polytheistic religions are like that. So you have that.
Polytheism. Okay, yeah, that's the word. Okay. It's been a while.
So the like, I get to think about when I need compassion in my life and need to like work that. I can actually picture Freya, and she's the goddess of compassion and whatever. And I'm like, oh, okay, I can just say something to her because she now became the embodiment. She just became some sort of, just embodiment of that idea and of that virtue. So I can practice that. Like when I need fucking courage or I need to be justful or gain some fucking wisdom. I can talk to different people, and that's a lot like recovery. Like I don't go to my sponsor for everything. Like I don't believe having one person. Personally, like the way I think sponsors is, we have many sponsors. The sponsor, like per se, is the one you work steps with, but everybody in your relationship, in your fellowship, is sponsoring you. If you're going on Twitter and asking people for their advice about some sort of problem in recovery, they're your sponsor in that moment. If you're listening to their advice and they're somebody that has more or less clean time, it doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah, clean time's arbitrary.
Clean time's arbitrary. As long as you're like on the same realm of path, you can help each other. An alcoholic can help a fucking somebody who's addicted to narcotics. Somebody who's addicted to narcotics can help somebody who has a gambling addiction. Somebody with a gambling addiction can help somebody who's overeating too much. Like, I've found so many more threads of humanity through the podcasting that I didn't really see before, and it feels really cool, especially when we get people from like Canada and the Faroe Islands and England and all like California.
Also, the other fellowships is always great.
Also,
too.
the other fellowships, exactly, because they're these people that have a different symptom of the same overall disease. And that's what I've always loved about the clarity statement is like, yes, like there are many symptoms to this disease, but it's all the same thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's all the same.
Yeah. I don't know how long have I been talking?
I've been talking for an hour.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
No fucking shit.
You have.
God damn.
Yeah.
That's amazing. But yeah, like, let me a couple more minutes.
Yeah, we'll do a few more minutes.
Yeah, a few more minutes.
I'm gonna like shut it down.
Yeah.
In like 5 minutes.
So what have I done? I've gotten engaged. I've made some amends. I've gone through some dark times. I sought outside help to correct those times. Mm-hmm. I've helped, most recently, a friend deal in their grieving process. I buried 3 people in 1 month that I knew in recovery in March. That was fucking difficult. One of them was a guy that I was a counselor for when he was in rehab. And like, he was one of the funniest people I ever met in my life. His name was Brett David. Like, no longer with us. One of the funniest motherfuckers I ever met. Super cool. Talked to him 48 hours before he died. So yeah, ups and downs, man. That's fucking recovery. It's been life on life's terms, trying to grow as an individual, trying to grow with different people who have come into my life. I've seen friends celebrate years. I've seen some people relapse after years. A friend who has had 12 years, just started smoking crack again.
Oh, that person.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
And for anybody who's listening, our dear friend Eric, our other co-host, is about to celebrate 2 years of clean time.
Again, but sure, yeah.
Don't clap for yourself. Don't clap for yourself. Don't be that fucking guy.
Celebrate.
Yeah, now I'm 90 days away from being a Mr. to a Mrs. I don't know. Yeah, kids are on the horizon. All sorts of shit.
Sounds stressful, bro.
Yeah. I'm excited about the kids, though.
I'm
excited about kids.
We've put ours on hold.
Yeah.
So.
It's That's fine.
Just we'll do some more things.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Dude, I know. I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They really tie you down and take all your money.
I know.
So.
I know.
Not to say they're not cute, but
they're adorable. They're so fucking cute.
It's yeah. It's just I have goals I want to hit before that.
Yeah.
You know?
When the time is right.
Yeah.
When the time is right. All right. So you any questions for me?
Man, look at you eating up that clock.
I didn't even know. I thought it was around like 40 minutes.
No, you're
an hour.
You're over an hour.
Jesus.
I guess. Damn, dude. I don't fucking know. I kind of was like asking questions like throughout.
Yeah.
But
are you has podcast rewind. Has podcast recovery met or exceeded your expectations to this point?
Yeah. Of course.
Which one? Met or exceeded?
Exceeded.
Exceeded.
I mean, first off, all right, I have a very conflicted relationship with my fellowship that I'm in. I'll be very frank. I love the program. Not a fan of the fellowship. That's just me.
Really?
Yeah. You know this, don't you? You haven't heard me talk about this? I've talked about this at my anniversaries before.
Yeah.
I think I talked about this.
I think because I'm in your inner circle, I don't really see that, so I don't experience it. So I'm like, oh no,
He
dude,
likes us.
Dude,
Yeah.
he likes people. Trust me.
It's kind of just, it's not. I love the program. The program's great.
Yes.
But I think I fit better into a different fellowship, to be honest. There is one I know where I'd be like, I would definitely like idealistically like fit better. Because there's certain things that I just don't subscribe to, and I will never just subscribe to. And I think like, and it's fine that it works for other people. Like that's
absolutely
great.
Yep.
But for me, like, and then when you have people who are like dogmatic about it, I'm just like, please shut the fuck up, dude.
Yeah.
Like, you're not going to change my mind. I'm not going to change your mind. So don't like fucking waste your breath trying to do it. Like, but I mean, with this, like, Twitter as a whole, and like, yeah, I'm sorry I don't respond as much as we should. We'll get better on that in January. I'm not going to pretend like it's going to get better anytime soon. In January, it'll get better. But it's cool. Twitter recovery. Like if I were to,
it is real.
Yeah. If I were to sponsor someone again, I haven't sponsored anyone in like years.
I've never sponsored anybody.
I've sponsored 3 people.
I've only been asked twice, and I said no the first time because it was like I had less than 2 years, and I was like, dude, I'm in no place to no. Yeah. And then after that, I said no because I had not worked all 12 steps, so I didn't know how I could give somebody a working knowledge of the 12 steps without my own knowledge of the 12 steps. So said no twice.
Well, yeah. I mean, I don't know. If I were to sponsor someone again, which I don't go to enough meetings to do that, like, I would tell them to get on Twitter.
Yeah.
Which is very weird. I'd be like, Twitter is great. And I'm not just plugging Twitter. I'm just saying, like, I'm plugging Twitter. It's fucking awesome for recovery.
Yeah.
Like, the community really is great. A lot of support. I get more, like, I see more, I don't really ask for support, but I see more support on Twitter than I would in a meeting. So like I see people like reaching out to people who like seriously need help where, someone's going to
never met each other. Yeah.
Where someone will do a burning desire and that kid will be outside of a meeting like and no one's talking to them.
Yeah, standing in the cold.
You know what I mean? Like
smoking a cigarette by themselves.
Like no one fucking approaches that dude, but like, Twitter, like it's like bam, like you got 50 comments, like people are trying to help, like
call this, go here.
That's pretty cool. Like seeing like how active it is and how like supportive people are.
Yeah, the difference between Facebook and Twitter is really palpable. Yeah, I think it's a way more positive platform from what I've seen so far.
Well, and seeing the differences between fellowships is pretty cool.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, like, I've been to other fellowships, but, like, actually seeing, like, the language differences and everything, it's pretty trippy. Like, honestly, there's, like, a lack of a better term. And, like, there's some fellowships that, like, outside of the main ones where I just would have been, like, I thought differently. I think differently of them now because I'm like, oh, cool. Like...
More positive.
Yeah, more positively. I'm like, this is cool. Like, I had this, viewpoint and, like, you've changed it. Because of like kind of what you were talking about, and that's kind of cool. Yeah, man. It's.
And I have a final question. Do you see a evolution of recovery in the near future or on the horizon?
I mean, if you're reading stuff online, yes. I mean, I have a roadmap for us, of like what we're going to do and like how we're, going to expand beyond just a podcast. I mean, if you follow us on Twitter, you see like, it's more than just a podcast at this point. It's a daily meditation. But, we're going to go beyond that. But even like, I think it has to change.
Yeah,
I do.
I agree.
I think, you hear the thing that says, like, if it's not broken, don't fix it. I think, I don't think it is, like, incredible. Like, I don't think what is being done is always not broken.
Yeah.
Like, because, I mean, for the longest time, I would go into a meeting.
I think we need more answers.
Well, yeah, but for, like, okay, so, I might break, like, some of our rules, like, a little bit here, but for the longest time when someone, when I was in my, like, early, when I was, like, 20 or like 19, 20, 21, and I would go to meetings, like, when I was 20 and 21, I would go to meetings, is when I first started going to meetings, is, like, 2021. Mm-hmm. And when I would hear people say God, like, that totally turned me off.
Yeah.
100%. Like, as soon as God was brought up, I was like, I'm out. Like, it wasn't until, like, 4 years later when I was, like, super desperate that I was like, all right, I don't care. But, that's not, like, it's not broken. Like, how many other people have heard that and been like, well, not doing it?
Yeah.
Like, there's language and, mm-hmm. People might hate me for picking on the big book, but, like, For the Wives is wrong.
Yeah.
And and I know people, like, who listen to this are going to be not happy about it, but it's not time period anymore. Like, you need to change the language. Like, it is broken. Like, if someone feels a certain way about something, and people are like, it's political correct worldview, like, it's just not, that's like,
it's not okay anymore. We don't live that way anymore.
Like, that's not how it is. No. I mean, even like the episode we just recorded before this, mm-hmm. It was reversed. Like, the wife was the alcoholic and the husband was the one. Mm-hmm. So what, is there for the husbands? Like,
exactly.
So I don't know. I mean, you see it also in, the other fellowship, like, when we talk about the main fellowships, like, there's language, like, where it's just like, fuck, man, like, this is,
I think there needs to be
changed.
I think there needs to be more cohesion with all the fellowships.
Well, that would be dope, but I mean, I would like to see that too.
And like,
but,
I dabbled with those attempts.
That didn't go well.
It did not go well.
Yeah, we actually did. So I didn't. It was David. David did this. So David would bring people from other fellowships to our home group. Didn't go well, guys.
It did not go well.
But we actually are still hearing about it at our last group. Conscience.
Still hearing about it. Exactly. Like, it's crazy. Like, we say in the fucking literature that alcohol is a drug. Alcohol is a drug, and if you are an alcoholic, you are welcome in this fellowship. But once I bring somebody from that other fellowship into this fellowship, I got palpable clapback from my other home group members.
Well, people even get weird about cutters. Like, I sponsored a cutter, and we had, a cutter celebrate at our home group. People had really weird feelings about it. Yeah. And it's just like,
there wasn't really an anonymous program for her, and our fellowship is where she felt welcome and a conduit for her own personal recovery.
Yeah.
How is that a wrong thing? How is that wrong?
It's just how some people are, and, like, I disagree with it. I disagree with it.
Yeah, exactly.
But I mean, I think that fellowship needs to be created, and I think there is one, but I think it doesn't fit everyone. But I think there is something that has, like, an outline for that. But yeah, I think it needs to be created.
And they're the fusion recovery.
Fusion recovery.
Fusion. And it's
yeah, man.
I think it's on the way, and
it's coming. We're working on it.
Mm-hmm. And what's great is that we've welcomed so many different people into podcast recovery.
Yeah.
And
man.
I've seen how so many different people from different demographics and different states and different stories and different countries have recovered. They are recovering.
Yeah, I mean, it's different for everyone. I don't think, and I mean, there's things that you and I disagree on.
Yeah.
And I think recovery is unique to the individual.
Yep.
And we shouldn't judge people on what recovery is to them.
Yep.
Even if it goes against your core beliefs of what recovery is, like recovery isn't, at the core essence, recovery is, to me, is my life better than it was yesterday?
Yep.
Am I improving as a human being?
Yep.
Because I mean, we've talked about this with like my sponsorship family, where it's like, oh, you're using, like, we're still gonna do recovery with you. Like, it's not like, whatever, if you get high, it's not gonna get in you. It's like, no, let's start doing this.
Yeah.
Like, we're not putting some fucking like wall around like the program.
Yeah.
Because like you're getting high. Like, no, start reading the books.
Yeah.
And like we'll start working steps and like, let's start doing something so that you can fucking change your life.
Because who's to say when and where it's finally gonna click?
Maybe they become willing during that process.
Yeah. And if you don't even open that door, like they don't even have a chance.
Yeah, this isn't like, I think the big difference now is this isn't the take the cotton out of your ears and like shove it in your mouth like generation. Like that's gone. Like, like this is like, let's make sure that people recover. It's personalized recovery.
Yeah.
Like, it's not one size fits all.
Yeah.
Like I'm in a fellowship that I don't think I truly belong in. But, my friends are there, and that is where I do feel comfortable because I've been in it for like 10 years.
Yeah.
But, I take what I've taken out of it, but it's not right.
Yeah.
Like my recovery is so much more than just that.
Yes. And that's what I've believed about my fellowship for the last several years, is I believe that this fellowship was square one for my recovery. And everything else is, it spawns from that, but I've gotten greater gifts than just what that program has offered me. Now, like, I'm not downplaying it at all, but I'm saying it opened a door to a whole new way of life. And I've taken the advantage of that whole new way of life to actually read spiritualities, not just fucking pick one. Like, read all the books, read all of them. Like, it, period. Like that. I can't stress that enough. Don't just be like, oh, well, my parents picked this, so that's what it is. Or this one's like really popular, so I'm going to pick that. Read all the fucking books. Like, I've read the Bible, I've read the Quran, I've read the Eightfold Path of Buddhism, I've read the fucking, the 9 Noble Virtues of Norse mythology. Like, and that's the one that stuck with me. And I've read Greek mythology and Roman mythology and Egyptian mythology. Like, and they all have ways of life in them. Read them all. Educate yourself. Educate yourself about your disease. Educate yourself about your recovery. All different forms of recovery. Who's out there? Who's talking? Who's actually doing it? Watch people as they recover, and like amalgamate it for you. Take what you want. Like, add it to your life, and just leave the other shit behind, and that's fine.
Yeah.
Like, it's okay to personalize your own program and become a better person. I don't care if you're a hybrid.
There's no wrong answers.
There's no wrong answers.
Yeah.
I don't care if you're a hybrid Jew, Muslim, Christian, pagan, Wiccan, whatever.
Yeah, whatever, man.
I don't care.
As long as you're doing the next right thing.
As long as you're doing the next right thing and making your life better and somebody else's life better. And yeah.
It's just about positivity. Like, I don't know, when you start like talking about you're not doing it right, that's like, it's kind of negative talk.
Yeah, because
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, do it my way or like leave. Like, fuck that. Like, take what you can from everywhere you can and become the best person you can.
Yeah, and the one, and people say like, oh, there is no perfect program. There is. If you didn't get high today, you worked a perfect program.
Yeah.
Whatever you did, like, sometimes you're going to need to sleep 10 hours in a day.
Yeah.
Sometimes you're going to need to cry for 10 hours in a fucking day. Sometimes you're going to need to go throw axes in the woods.
Sure.
Or, like, go take an 8-mile hike or do whatever. Like,
the axes sounded a little bit personal, but
that's a huge thing right now. The throwing axes is like
thing.
Also, so are the rage rooms. If you need to go to if you need to pay $50 and beat the shit out of a TV with a crowbar, go do that.
What a great business model.
What a great business model. It's great. I want to do it so bad. There's one around here. We should do it.
Get trash and put it in a room and let people go at it.
Yeah. And then recycle it afterwards. Mm-hmm. And they pay you. And they sign a release form saying, if a piece of glass flies in your eye, that is your problem.
Yeah.
Which is cool. But if that's what you needed to do to stay clean that day, that's what you needed to do. I needed to move to North Carolina for a month.
Yeah.
More than a month. Like there's no right way to stay clean, but as long as you stay clean, you did it right. Mm-hmm. Oh God, that was a good quote. I'm gonna end right there.
All right. Well, guys,
I got nothing else.
We've gone 20 minutes over my preferred
desired
time. Yes. That's okay. That's okay. I'll give David that.
It's a special episode.
That's kind of a little bit more laid back. But
thank you, everybody out there.
Thanks for listening.
Thank you for listening. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for promoting us across the internet, and thank you everybody who's been on the episode, the podcast. Like all our speakers, you've done a great job. So many different avenues of recovery and hope, and
we're going to be working on some new things too.
Yeah.
So keep an eye out for that. Like fusion recovery, and we'll be starting some new stuff up. A lot of it will be coming out in January. Just getting ready, but we'll start building it. Hopefully a little bit after this episode, so that we keep bringing content to you guys to keep recovery moving, right?
Yeah.
Keep it interesting.
Yeah, keep it fresh. Keep giving
fresh.
Give us your ideas how we can evolve.
Yeah,
we want to hear
give us some feedback,
some criticism.
Guys.
Like give us some constructive criticism. If I say or like or whatever too much.
Oh yeah, all that shit. I say like all the time. It's it's bad.
It sucks.
I've been working on that.
I'm
but
working on it.
Guys,
we appreciate it. Everybody keep liking us, keep listening. Facebook, Twitter, soon to be on Instagram, all that good stuff. We love you. Stay safe, stay clean.